You know what I mean, I hope.
Yeah.
You put it, there's a way to address things so that you maximize the positive without putting attention on the negative. There's a movie called The Secret.
Yeah.
Have you all,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen The Secret, you should watch The Secret. And it explains that very well. Okay, so I get to America and everything proceeds beautifully. There was one policeman, he said, you need to see my passport. I said, oh, I'm American. He said, well, you're not anybody to me. Give me your passport. He was very rude. He looks at it, he's interrogating me unnecessarily, in my opinion. But I'm just as, relaxed and almost teasing him. I was playing with him, and he let me go, and everything was well. And I get on the plane, I come to London for the second time. Very happy to be here. Everything went very well. I always do that before I travel. I have one of these working for me, so that everything proceeds smoothly. Okay, now what was another? I'm thinking of another example. A friend of mine's cell phone broke, and I made up a little note, fix so-and-so's cell phone, make it work right, thank you. 5 minutes later, his cell phone comes on. And I said, oh, he said, oh, my cell phone is working. I said, oh, that's because I used the psychic shield. Oh, I don't believe in that, he said. I said, oh, okay. So I take the note out, throw it in the trash. Guess what happened? The cell phone stopped working. It stopped working. And so he said, Suzar, what did you do? Could you do it again? I said, well, I don't know if it'll work the second time. But I did it, and like magic, the cell phone came back on. So the thing affects physical objects. It seems to be very good for emergencies. I've used it for all kinds of things. Now, sometimes it's something serious. Like a friend of mine, he was in serious, well, he dropped dead.
That's kind of serious.
Yeah, that's very serious. His wife brought him back to life through CPR, whatever they call that. And he was in the hospital, critical condition. And I immediately got to work. I made several of these for him, including putting him in this. And it turned out he was, whatever it was that caused that condition, he was the 1% that survives that. It's like almost a 100%, you just don't survive whatever it was he had, but he survived. Now, other people were praying for him too. So anyway, the point I'm making is that this little simple thing is incredibly powerful. Sacred geometry, they call it. Sacred geometry is one of the stolen or lost or suppressed keys that's now coming back to us. See, what we did, we externalized our essence into these forms. You've heard of the golden spiral?
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at a seashell. Let's see now. It goes something like this. Your finger literally opens up into a golden spiral. If I could put a pin here, it will be the golden spiral. Your hand, starting from the finger, sweeps out into a golden spiral. Okay? Your entire arm. This is the golden spiral. Okay? That's sacred geometry. The implication, when people say sacred geometry, it implies that some geometry is sacred and some is not. Well, that's not true. Just like the Albion split up star signs. And they say, oh, this is astronomy, and that's a real science, and this is astrology, and that's not a real science. That's not true. Okay? It's all one, and it shouldn't be broken up like that. So one day we'll come up with a better word for sacred geometry. Sacred geometry seems to be the keys to the universe. I also think this is why we can sit in what is called meditation in a certain format, we are aligning our sacred geometry. You know how they say keep the back straight? I hate that. I don't meditate because I can't stand trying to sit there and be still, but there's something, sitting straight, there's something to that. When you sit straight a certain way, you know how they do in the yoga pose? It's aligning your points, your sacred geometry, and it's much easier for certain energies to flow through you and for you to flow through those energies. So yes, I encourage you, I trust we'll have time, we can trace these and we can have our own, you know, when you go home, you can try this. Now, let's see. This thing can also be used this way. You have it sitting on the table or couch or wherever, and you orient it north, and you can just take your hands and focus your thought and send a thought that way as well. So it operates that way too. I prefer to have a solid note in there with a witness and a thank you and all of that.
So, excuse me.
Yes. Oh, let me say something. Please feel free to interrupt, ask questions, or if you want to make a comment, okay? Now, yes.
I didn't quite catch what you were saying. Every time that you use the paper or something, you have to use a saliva or
well,
a
whenever you make a request, the witness, you must have a witness with it. Like if you say, let's say you need, how much money do you need?
10.
Go on. $10? 10
10,000 pounds.
Okay, she just said 10, so she wants 10 pence.
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
10,000 what? Cupcakes?
Pounds. Okay.
She wants 10,000 cupcakes.
45,000 pounds. There we are.
You know I'm playing with you. She wants 40,000 cupcakes, right?
Yeah.
Muffins?
Pounds.
She wants 40,000 pounds of cupcakes. I'm just kidding. Okay. 40,000 pounds.
Right.
If you say, bring me 40,000 pounds, thank you, and put it in there, it'll get the 40,000 pounds, but it doesn't know where to take it to. So the witness is where to deliver the object of your request.
Okay.
So you either put your full name that's on your birth certificate. What's your name, dear?
Angela.
You can't just say, bring me Angela, because there's thousands of Angelas in England. So what's your full name on your birth certificate?
Oh, I'm not disclosing that.
Okay, that's all right. Bring me Angela Taylor Harper,
Yeah.
40,000 pounds. Thank you. It could be as simple as that. Or you could write it. You could write it to Creator. This is the name that I use for Creator. It's Uma Tiao. So what I do, I say, Uma Tiao, please allow, and I just put my request, or please bring me, please that. Sometimes I might get detailed, you know, and then at the end I say thank you, and I roll it up or do whatever, and I put it in here, or I put it here, or both. Okay, when I had the chemtrail poisoning and became very, very ill, I had about 15 of these operated for me. See, well, I won't go into describing that, but it worked. Now, if you all remind me, I'll later tell you about this, where that came from, how that came about. Okay, now, so that's the psychic shield. I'm going to pass these. Pass these. Pass it back. Pass it back, please.
want some more black pepper?
Yes.
Yeah, they're coming.
They're coming. Oh.
So the Almighty Al, does that mean bring me?
No.
That's the word for God.
Umatiao. Since the brother asked, then I'm going to tell you what this is. About maybe 5 or so years ago, was it 5 years ago? When I was living in California, sitting at my computer, I asked a question without using words. And I asked Creator, what is your true name? But I didn't use the words. And instantly, this appeared in my mind, in my consciousness, Umatia. It was quick. And I'm thinking, okay, I made that up and I dismissed it. But then I said, wait a minute, we must honor and respect what we receive. Honor and respect ourselves. So I said, let me look into this. So I wrote it down because when it came to me, the spell and everything was complete. I wrote it down, Umatia, and I looked at it and I said, you know what? Uma has Ma in it, which means mother, and Tiao sounds like Tau, T-A-U, which is a word for the letter T, which has anciently been a symbol of the male genitals. Therefore, this is mother, and this is father. This is the divine mother, divine father. So I accepted it as a name, a true name, for a great mother and great father. And then later, I found out that Uma is a word that exists in many African languages, and it literally means grandmother. Yes. So this is a name, a true name for Creator. And as long as I'm talking about this, I'm going to give you one of the most powerful names there is. It's a united name for a great mother, great father. It is so powerful, it is a mantra. If spit happens, if stuff is happening negative, you can sing this. You can say this over and over again. You can meditate using this. And what it does, it sends out waves in the form of spheres of divine energy, and it opens portals just like this does. And it's and the way you pronounce it, now please feel free to sing with me. It's a drawn out hear that tone? Let me tell you, ooh is magical. It's totally divine. When you, ooh, if you all, just this little group, if you all do this on a regular basis, especially if you come together and do nothing except, ooh, that's all you do, okay? You come to, you have a who chant, or you just come together in a room somewhere just to sing who. And when it's over with, you just quietly leave. You don't do other stuff. You just come there strictly and only to sing this. You will send out awesome golden waves of divine light that's going to change things for the good in London and in England and in Earth, on this planet and the universe. This is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. So these are two names for creator. When you make your positive energy generators, the next workshop is going to be on how to make these positive energy generators. You make it with three things: resin, equal amounts of resin and metal particles, and a quartz crystal. Okay? While it is curing, meaning while it'll get hot. The resin gets hot, and then it gets hard as a rock. When it's hot, it's curing, it's getting hard. If you're playing whatever music, whatever tones you play during that time, it's going to become a part of this permanently. And then this will broadcast that energy. So when it's curing, you can sing. You can sing Umatiao, especially this. Okay, and it'll be in here. There's another song or chant that you can sing, and it's called the 47 Words of God. And that's on page 47 in Black Empowerment Survival Guide. This isn't available yet, but the group that brought me here would make it available. And
It's
this
in
is
the muffin
also
paper.
very powerful. What?
It's in the muffin paper.
Oh, that's right. It's in the muffin
Yeah,
papers.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. This is very, very powerful. It's the vibration of the universe. And it heals, just like these tools. All these tools can be used for healing, including the 47 Words of God chant. That's all it does is it heals, it restores peace of mind. And if you continue to sing the 47 Words of God, what happens is it draws your Kami, that's K-A-M-I, your Kami angels to you, and you will be able to communicate consciously and directly with angels, and they tell you all kinds of marvelous things. Yes. Okay. Maybe later on I'll sing it for you. Okay. Now, we're done with the psychic shield. So we get out of the way. Is everyone familiar with this? I introduced this yesterday. This is called the Healing Mandala. Now, this device, again, is sacred geometry. It's interesting. Look at the configuration. Notice that see the similarity? This has 6 sides. This has 6 crystals. But it has at the center another point, which makes it a 7. Technically, like a snowflake. This looks like a snowflake. This was found in Africa as a ring. But the people that found it, they would not call it African, they called it Atlantean. And I don't know what it is about this shape, but it's extremely powerful. You know, it energizes, it also is a healing tool. And I don't know whose idea it was to combine it into this shape. But when combined in this shape, this thing is a portal, another portal for divine energy, divine light. And it heals. Let's say you come home, you're tired. You can put one in each shoe facing up, hold one in each hand, sit on it, and maybe even look at one. And within, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, you will be completely energized. A certain guy could not sleep. I told his mom about this. She put it under his pillow. This was a guy who had basically burnt out his mind from abusing drugs. And she told me that when she put this under his pillow, this is the first time he slept well in years. Just one time. You can charge your food. You know, most of us eat a sub-health diet. You can take your food that's not that healthy, your donuts, your potato chips, whatever, and your healthy food, and place it on top of this. And this will put back the energy that was lost during cooking or processing or whatever they did to the food. You can charge your water with this. You can charge your pillow, charge your shoes, charge anything. There's no limit to what you can use this for. I call it the healing mandala. And it's also discussed in the book you need to get called The Muffin Papers. The Muffin Papers is also a complete guide to how to make the orgon generator or the positive energy generator. Tomorrow we will have a play shop on making this. And what this thing does, it takes all forms of negative energy, microwaves from your cell phone, the ELFs, the extremely low frequencies that we're constantly bathed in. You can't get away from them. We're sitting under fluorescent light. That's not healthy. You turn on your radio, there are radio waves. All these waves, we've never been subjected to so many waves. It's not healthy for us. We don't know what true health is because we have all these health oppressors that we're constantly trying to fight. You're not conscious that you're fighting this, but your body is. If you were in an environment that did not have all these waves going on, you would feel like you can levitate. You would think differently. You would see life differently. You will be happier naturally, like children. They don't need a reason to be happy. They don't need 45,000 pounds.
But they might want the cupcakes.
But you can literally have your cake and eat it too when you use these tools. So,
Could I ask something?
yes, please.
Do you have to say a prayer again with this circle?
Oh no, you don't have to. I mean,
Or write anything?
there's
sorry.
nothing wrong with saying prayers. You know, you can say prayers if you want to. You don't have to.
Sorry, I didn't even say the prayer. I mean, you know the thing that you write with the other one.
You know what, ma'am? I really don't know. You all can experiment and write your request and
That's
put it
it,
in here and see what. This might actually be more powerful than that as a manifestation tool. I don't know. I haven't done it, but you know, every time I've discussed this, someone has asked me a similar question. So I think that there might be something to that. So I encourage you to try it. Make your request, put it in the center of one of these things and see what happens. You can do remote healing with these. You get the picture of your sick friend or their name, you know, write their name out in full on a piece of paper and just put it there, put the other, take the other one, sandwich them between this with your hands like this and say a prayer for their wholeness for about, I don't know, maybe a few minutes or 5 minutes. And just do this, and then they will get results. That's what I did with my friend that fell over. Okay. Now, any questions before we? Yes.
I just want to know, with the healing shield, is there a way
The
of...
what?
The healing shield?
Healing shield,
Is
yes.
there a way of disposing of it once you...
A way of doing what?
Of sort of disposing of it, when you're sort of finishing with it or whatever? Is
This?
there a special... No.
Oh, the psychic shield?
Yeah, yes, this one.
Keep it.
I just keep...
Yeah, just keep it. Did you draw it? Don't use a Xerox one. You must hand draw it. And don't wear it if the lines are not perfect. Now I do use a ruler, but the original ones I just traced it by hand. I didn't use a ruler, and they worked fine for me. And my messy, sloppy ones, they work too. But I think that it's probably better if you do it, neat, if you can do it neat. It feels, yes.
You said the symbol was found in Africa as a ring. Are you talking about a ring that you wear, or?
Yeah, it was found as an actual ring
Oh, okay.
that was wrapped on, I don't know, probably a mummy, because they found it in Egypt, in Cairo. And it's very popular. People are now making jewelry with this, and they call it the Atlantis ring or something like that. And it should be the African ring or the Egyptian ring, volcanic ring, but they won't give credit to us. But that's okay, we're going to fix that too.
Atlantis belongs to us anyway. It don't matter. That's the way it is.
It's their form of denial. They can't accept us for what we are. And we can't accept us for what we are. And when we move into accepting ourselves for who and what we are and end our denials, then we won't be receiving the denials you're getting from all our children. That's how we look at it. Yes?
I was looking at that this morning. I'm thinking of, making something like that in a three-dimensional frame, so that, because if that have energy in the one dimension as it is, if you make like a big something, maybe half the room size as a power generator.
Oh my
it could
goodness.
Maybe.
You think on a grand scale. I'll tell you something. The orgone generators, there's different forms of this thing. And each form, each type has different properties. And somebody, you may have seen this, but he invented an orgone generator that looks like this. The top was a cone, the bottom was a cone, and the interior, this was a pipe. It was 3 pipes. And inside was the materials that's found in here, which is the resin, the crystals, and the metal. So he had, I think, double terminated crystals. He had all this stuff. This turned out to be, he called it a cluster buster. It turned out to be one of the most powerful orgone generators ever invented. And notice the similarity between the shapes. I've observed in the orgone world of orgone generator making that the elements that they use, really what they're doing is they are just reintroducing our science. When they first made these, they didn't have the coil, but when they put the coil, can you see that coil? When they put the nappy coil on it, does everyone know what nappy means? Or is that just an American term?
Hold up to the camera, please.
Curly.
Curly. When the spiral, that's right, the spiral of creation was placed in the generator, it took it to the next level. What does that say about you with your naturally spiraling hair? You know, everything in the universe is spinning, spiraling. We're on a planet that's spinning. And furthermore, it's going around the sun, spiraling around the sun.